Hello everybody and welcome to another video from Arena Hacks. My name is Kyle Wagner and today I have a really interesting video for you guys today. I'm going to be sharing another budget-friendly deck that I have constructed, and the really cool thing about this deck is that it uses almost no wild cards. You should already have pretty much all the cards that are in this deck, and it is a pretty good deck. Budget decks are never really outstanding, but yes, it is a pretty good deck. You should be able to get a good amount of wins with it and have a lot of fun with it. Another really cool thing about this video is at the end of the video, I'm actually going to be showing you something really cool that you can do with Arena. So we'll get to that at the end of the video, so keep watching for that. Otherwise, let's just take a look at that deck and see what it's all about. So here's the deck. It is the red-green deck, Stomp Stomp. Change the picture. I like the Bonecrusher Giant better. Most of this deck is what was already in the Stomp Stomp deck. I did change it, like I did heavily modify it, I guess. I shouldn't say, it's like 50% of what was already in the Stomp Stomp deck. And then a lot of these green cards I did take out of the Adventures deck. Edgewall Innkeeper. I added a lot of Rimrock Knights, Beanstalk Giants, Bonecrusher, and Lovestruck Beast because they're all adventure creatures. And with that Edgewall Innkeeper, it really helps keeping your card draw coming, and you get a lot of cards coming into your hand. Because with I can't say the colors right now, a red-green deck like this, red-green, kind of funny. It's so close to Christmas right now, and all the colors I got today are red and green. It's kind of cool. Anyway, thought I'd point that out. But anyways, where was I now? Red-green deck. Yes, decks like this can often be pretty fast, and you're casting a lot of these low mana spells really quickly. Burn spells like Scorching Dragonfire, and you want to keep... It's kind of like a red aggro deck. You're really trying to throw a lot of damage at your opponent quickly. So you can run out of cards in your hand pretty easily. So that's where the Edgewall Innkeeper, as well as all these adventure creatures really come into play. Really helps your card draw there. We got Scorching Dragonfire in here to take care of some of our opponent's stuff. Ilysian Caryatid for mana ramp. The other thing about Edgewall Innkeeper and Ilysian Caryatid is they are 1/1 creatures, which synergizes with the Lovestruck Beast, who is super awesome. Being a 3-mana 5/5 is a ridiculous value, but you can't attack with him unless you have a 1/1 creature. So he does have that sorcery adventure where you create a 1/1 human creature token for only 1 mana, so that helps out a lot with allowing this guy to attack. The other thing is he's a good defender. If you, let's say you use Heart's Desire, you cast that sorcery, you get a 1/1, on your third turn you go to play that, but sometime either before combat or before your Lovestruck loses Summoning Sickness, your opponent may kill that 1/1 human creature token. Really unfortunate, really sucks. Now you can't attack with your Lovestruck, but that's okay, because a 5/5 body is a pretty good blocker. and if you read the card, you can still block with him. So that's what these 1/1s are for. So ram through again, that's just more damage to your opponents, kind of like Scorching Dragon, or there are creatures like Scorching Dragonfire and stuff like that. It's for some removal. Brushfire is really good because he's hard for your opponent to block, especially early game. And then that landfall pumps him up pretty surprisingly quick. If I had more than 1 copy in here, now you might actually have to use a uncommon wild card on this. I just thought of this now. You guys might actually not have this in your collection. So there's 1 uncommon wild card that you might have to use. Let's say when you cracked your Zendikar booster packs, maybe you have 2 copies of Brushfire in your deck, or in your collection. Now, like, that's great. I would say add a second one and remove, I would say remove, ooh, that's a tough choice. Second Brushfire, and let's take out, that really is a tough choice. I'd say maybe a Rimrock, 1 Rimrock. Keep 3 of them and don't take any more out. Take 1 out for 1 Brushfire. If you want to add more Brushfires, that's getting more complicated. And I think, yeah. Yeah, that's just a different deck. We'll get to that some other point, some other time, some other video. Anyways, if you were to add that second one in, though, I would suggest taking maybe a couple Rugged Highlands out and then instead using a few Evolving Wilds in its place, which is something you should all have. And it's really good. It helps with the landfall trigger because you play a land when you play the Evolving Wilds. And then you use the Evolving Wilds to get a basic land. So that counts as 2 landfall land drops in 1 turn, which will give your Brushfire Elemental a +4/+4 boost, making it a 5/5 until end of turn, and creatures with power 2 or less can't block it. So that ends up being really fun. So if you do have more copies of that and you do want to add more copies, it is a really good card, and I say go right ahead. Be careful about what you take out. You still want to get that synergy with the Edgewall and the adventures. Bonecrusher, I've covered Bonecrusher in other decks before. Really awesome. Again, that adventure, doing those 2 things, getting that creature. Lovestruck Beast as well. I covered him briefly. That's one of the only wild cards we're using today. I don't think in my beginners videos I've ever used a rare wild card yet. So you guys should all be pretty much as close. If you're just starting out and you're following along with me, and you're at this point, you should have pretty close to that same 8 rare wild cards. Now, some of those I did get as the rare card in a booster pack, so you might not have 8, but you should be pretty close to it. And we haven't used one yet, so let's use one for Lovestruck. That was a hard decision too. I was going back and forth. Where do I add that one card? Where do I add that rare? Do I go or do I go Bonecrusher or Lovestruck? And I was between these 2, and I just couldn't figure out why. So I went with Lovestruck. The first Iron Games. You know, like I said, pretty cool. You just 3 mana, and then every turn you get to do some pretty cool stuff. Warden of the Chain, he's just a really good value, kind of like the Lovestruck Beast, which is a 3 mana 5/5. This guy's not a rare, so he's not quite as good. He's a 3 mana 4/4. He does have a disadvantage of not being able to attack unless you have another creature with power 4 or greater. So we have 3 copies of them. If you get 2 of them, the first one won't be able to attack, but when you play the second one, they will trigger each other, and they will each allow each other to attack then. And again, much like the Lovestruck Beast, if you can't attack with them, a 4/4 body for 3 mana is always a good blocker and can really hold your opponent back early game. Leafkin Avenger, another one with power 4, another mana dork. If you have a lot of creatures with power 4 or greater on the battlefield, this guy can produce a good amount of mana. Plus he has that ability at the bottom there where he deals damage equal to his power to target player or planeswalker. Terror of the Peaks is just crazy. You know, 5 mana, 5/4 flying, that's already really good right there. Spells your opponents cast that target him cost an additional 3 life to cast, so they have to pay life to target him with anything. And whenever you get another creature onto the battlefield, he deals damage equal to their power. Yeah, equal to that creature's power to any target. So again, you have him on the battlefield, and you're able to play a Lovestruck Beast. Even if you don't have a 1/1, you just get him on the battlefield. If your opponent has 5 or less health, you can say Terror to Peaks, do damage directly to the opponent, and it's game over, much like the Leafkin I just covered. Embercleave is a pretty good staple in a red-green deck, also mono-red decks. Even though I don't have this in the mono-red deck that I've done for this channel, which is kind of funny, although that deck works out pretty well as it is. I think the reason I don't have this in that deck is because a lot of the creatures are very weak 1/1s and stuff like that. So you really just, when you equip this, you're getting a 2/2 with Double Strike, maybe a 3/3 with Double Strike and Trample. And that's still good, that's 6 damage, but it's like, it's just not as brutal as when you're attacking with a couple of big creatures, 3 or 4 big creatures, 4/4s, 5/5s, and then you get that extra +1, plus Double Strike and Trample, that can often close out the game. In my mono red deck, the Embercleave is not, it was just, there's no way I could see it being a game ender, which is why I didn't really include it in that deck. But it was worth a mention. Beanstalk Giant, I've already talked a little bit about. So yeah, he's really cool, works in there really well. Can be a bit clunky and hard to cast, but otherwise it's pretty good stuff. So that being said, let's get to some matches. All right, here we are. Looks like a pretty decent start. Nothing on the first turn, unfortunately, but that's okay. Can't always have a 1-drop. I think I only have the 4 Edgewall Innkeepers in here anyways. I think everything else after that is 2 drops or higher. Get the Brushfire out right away. It's got that haste, which is nice. Get some damage in real quick. Pteranodon. Let's attack and then hit his Pteranodon. Being on the play is kind of nice. I'm like a turn ahead of him on everything, which is very frustrating when it's the other way around, which I believe I've had from time to time on this channel. Let's save that for post-combat. Send another 3 damage in. Get that down. Leafkin Avenger, yeah, we have a few of those. 3 counters. Yeah, let's put it on him. Seems like fun. And we'll go this guy. And nothing but lands, which is good for our Brushfire, especially with those 3+1/+1 counters. Let's drop a land, go to combat. Wow! That Brushfire. See what I mean about those Brushfires? You use them right, you get a lot of lands, and it's just boom, boom, boom. Alright, so of course he gets rid of that. Pretty standard, and I'm getting flooded. Not again. Let's not do this again. I can't do anything. I can't believe this. This game is going so well, and all of a sudden like that, just I get nothing but land. I've been drawing lands already for like what, 3, most of the game actually. Everything I see here I had in my opening hand. Yeah. All this stuff. Yeah. And now I've got nothing but 2/1/1s and lands. Like yeah, there's no hope for winning this game at all now. Just because of a few. Yeah, just. Here's another one that's not going to make the cut. Like, come on, Arena, stop. Here we go. That is a really sluggish start. Can't even play my Edgewall first turn. Have to mulligan that. I'll give this a try and yeah, I guess put that back because it's too far away. Edgewall, perfect. Let's go with the Edgewall. Okay. He's going to be playing a control deck by the looks of it. So he's going to be more mid-range, which is really shitty for us because this is normally mid-range would be a perfect matchup for us, but we got such a slow start. Our card draw was pretty much rigged. I'm gonna go with Lovestruck. He might be able to kill it with something, but I wouldn't mind getting that card draw, which is nice. Oh, he's playing Shrines? Maybe he's Shrines instead of Control. That's also not too good for me. Typical. Typical. He probably figured I was going to do something like that, which is why he's saying, oops. Doom foretold. Great. Oh, I don't know. I don't have any lands. I kind of want to keep the Edgewall. Yeah, let's get rid of the Brushfire. Actually, it would have been good with the Beanstalk Giant and his ability. So if I go this guy, yeah. Let's get green. And then I'll have enough to cast that and draw a card. And play that, because I haven't played a land yet. Who's gonna get it next? Rimrock's gonna get it next. I have to sacrifice something because of his Doom Foretold. Well, now I have to sacrifice 2. So does he, but still, that's BS now. So I have to get rid of my Edgewall now. That sucks. But of course, opponents always get everything they need to just make me look like a fool. Alright, you gotta discard 2 things, or just, yeah, get rid of your shrines. Thing is that he can't make me just sacrifice this. You know, he's gonna, oh, you fool. With these 2 Doom Foretolds, he should have hit my Apparition there. Because I don't have to sacrifice that Apparition to a Doom Foretold. Discard a card. These are all pretty useless, because he doesn't play any creatures. What do we want, this green or red? Let's go green. Oh, I shouldn't have played that, his Doom Foretold. Damn it. Alright, well, let's see what he sacrifices to his... Gets rid of that, okay. I'm gonna have to get rid of my Shatter. Of course. Finally, his Doom Foretold will be gone. And watch him just play another one. I would just... No, he's just gonna have the answer now, too. Watch. I can't stand it when my opponents just always have the answer, especially when it's game after game after game, too. It's like, how does every single human being on the planet have every single answer to everything I play? Like, how is that possible? I don't like how long he's thinking here. I hope he's got a bunch of lands in his hand. Trying to charge that up. He needs to refresh his hand. My Terror of the Peaks will definitely put him on a clock. He's got 2 turns if he can't do anything about it. So far, it seems like he can't. That Ilysian Caryatid is one of the worst draws I could probably get right now. The only thing worse would be a non-creature. Any other creature besides a 1/1. Game would be over, because his ability would target his face, and then I'd attack with him, he wouldn't be able to block, and that would be that, right? So it's just, yeah, a Rimrock Knight. I would have been able to hit him, kill him, he'd be dead. This one turn, he better not win in this one turn. If it was only my card draw that caused me to not win, yeah, so now he's getting to do that ability, but he has no mana left. So he can't actually cast anything out of his hand. I think that means I win. Yes, there it is. On to the next round. Yeah, I like the start. Hopefully I get some big creatures to follow this. Do I have anything for... I do have Edgewall. Yeah, let's go Edgewall. Maybe get some, yeah, some of them adventures. There we go. That's one of my favorite second turns, or first 2 turns, is to have this. So then as long as he survives until my second turn, as soon as I play this guy, I get a card draw. Which I'm going to do because Edgewall Innkeepers are very easy for people to kill because they're very weak. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go this thing. And then I'm going to get that card draw before he picks him off with anything. I can ram through. What does this guy do? Demise have lifelink as long as it has 5 or more counters on it. Whenever a non-token creature you control that, but one of that. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to get rid of that guy. So let's go here. Next, attack. See what he does with that. He lets it go. I can do these at instant speed. I'll end my turn. See what he does with this guy. So lifelink as long as 5 or more counters, non-token creature you control dies, he gets a counter. Choose a cleric, you get to draw a card and lose a life. Oh my. +2/+2, which means most of this won't kill him. So let's interrupt that. Like this. Because he's going to get to equip that right away. And then I won't be able to do enough damage to kill his guy. He's even saying nice. Thank you. I don't usually say thanks, but just for gits and shiggles. Do I want to Embercleave? This is actually a good opportunity. He would be a 4... Ooh, yikes. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's pretty much game now, isn't it? Oh, he's down to 3. But he's like, yeah, he's like, what am I supposed to do about this now? There's a good example of how this deck can perform. Look at the nice, beautiful mix of cards I've had. Non-creatures, lands, creatures, ventures, Edgewall. Like, there's a nice mix of everything, and just, we destroyed this game. Just annihilated. You could say we got the perfect card draw, but we didn't. Like, I mean, we did, but it was like, we had a good hand, and we kept it, so. That was mostly what we played here. This was in our opening hand, this was in our opening hand, this was in our opening hand. This guy wasn't, but we didn't play him. This was in our opening hand. This was in our opening hand. So some of these lands, this was in our opening hand. So some of these lands and Embercleave. Embercleave was our only shit luck draw that we had this game. So yeah, it wasn't even like we had perfect card draw either. We had a really good starting hand. We decided to keep it. I decided to keep it. and yeah, it worked out. Okay, so and now it's time for me to deliver what I promised you at the beginning of the video. So what this is about it's just about decks, card sharing, deck sharing, stuff like that. But it's really cool stuff. If you've ever wondered what this import button and export button do, well, I'm going to show you that right now. And it is actually really cool. So I need to find a deck. Let's do this one. I'll bring this one into my other account, and I'll show you how this works. Really cool. So what you do is you click on it. Don't double click. If you double click, you go to edit it. You don't want to edit. So yeah, we don't want to be in that menu. We want to be in this menu right here. Click it once, so it's selected. Now a lot of buttons up here just lit up. Lit ones that you couldn't do before. So then you go export. Burn has been copied to your clipboard. Literally, it's on the clipboard. So when you copy and paste text, that's literally what this deck has been transferred into now. It's been transferred into a big string and put on your clipboard. And it's just sitting on my clipboard right now on the computer. And you want to see what it looks like. We go here, and then we just paste it in there. And there you go. That's my burn deck right there. So the thing is here, if if you look up here, I got 18 out of 75 decks. Now, you guys, if you're new to this, you might be thinking 75 is like more than enough decks. But there's definitely been times where I've hit that limit already myself, and it's just like, it seems extreme. 75 is a lot of decks, but if you ever get to your maximum and you want to have a few more, this is a good way to do it. You can just copy it as a string here, save this file on your computer, and now you're saving your own decks on your own hard drive on your computer. But it takes up no memory because this is just, it's a text file. Like, what does this take? It takes up like no space on your hard drive. So you can convert your decks into this to save extra decks on your hard drive, or you can just like, once this is on your clipboard, you can just send this as a message to your friend. If you have it, I'm sure you could probably do it in the Arena Messenger, or you can do it in an email or whatever. If you can get it on your phone, you can do a text message. If you know, whatever you want, you can actually save the notepad, email your friend, and send them the notepad as an attachment, as a file attachment, and they could still put that on their clipboard and import it on the other deck, or import it to their Arena. So I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff here, just because I want to put that on the clipboard. So now that's on the clipboard. And I'm just going to minimize this, keep it open. And oops, I clicked the wrong one. Click this one. I'm going to go into my other account. And then when I get there, I'll show you guys how that, you just bring that back in. Okay, so here we are. I'm in my other account. As you can see, all the decks are different. And look at my total up here, 73 out of 75. So that's what I was talking about. When you've been playing this game for a while, things get kind of messy in here. And this takes up space on Wizards of the Coast on their servers, so which is why they have a limit here. And once you reach that limit, if you want to save some of your decks on your own hard drive, I just showed you how you can do that. So if I were to go to import, if you remember, I typed in some letters at the end of that notepad and put those on my clipboard. Just to show you that if I go import, error, enter, yeah, see, those are the letters. It even tells you what's wrong with it, right? So another note thing too, if you're putting this on Notepad, if you're copying decks and putting them on Notepad, don't adjust them. Don't type in stuff. Build your decks on Arena and let Arena create the text string that is on your clipboard, and then just put it on Notepad and save it. Don't alter it in Notepad. Always alter your decks in Arena, because that way Arena will generate all the numbers. And if you remember that Notepad, actually we'll bring it up again right here. Here it is. So if you remember this, yeah, like there's a lot of things in here that are like, what is this? These I think are copies. How many copies are in the deck? This is, oh, this must be a set. Yeah, and then this, I don't even know what this number is, right? Like, see, that's what I mean, like it's, yeah. So you're best off just leave the text the way it is. Don't change it. So you already had that, we already saw that error I just got there because I had that weird nothing on my clipboard. So if I go here, I'm actually going to start at the top and go down. I'm even going to take that deck. The Arena generated it, so I'm going to take it anyways. So I'm just going to go Control C. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. Last time I cut it, that's why you saw it disappear. And let's go see if this works now. So then we go import, and boom, successfully imported. There it is, the burn deck from my beginner's account in all of its glory. There are some cards I do not have in this account. But my burn deck is, I use things besides Raging Goblin, I use rares instead. So in my version of this deck, so I just wanted to show you guys that and just talk about how you can use this. Once you get that string on your clipboard, it's like I started thinking about like all what I can do with this now that I know how to do this. Like I didn't know how to do this previously. I just learned this myself, and I just thought it's really cool. I was just like, what is that? Import, export, right? And when I was testing decks for these budget decks that I've been doing, I've been bringing them into this account. So because I have so many more cards in this account, I don't have to use wild cards. I can play around with different things. I just use the other account so that I know I have a better idea of what kind of cards that all of you who are just starting out, what kind of cards you have in your collection. Then I use that as stipulation in what cards I do put in the deck and what I include and how I build the deck, which is another reason why the decks aren't crazy good. That's because I'm really limiting myself to the cards that I'm able to use to make sure that you guys will have all those cards in your collection already when you build the decks. So yeah, but like this whole idea here, like I'm probably going to start including when I want to share my decks with you guys on YouTube. I'm probably going to include in the description. I'm limited on characters in this description. It's a huge limit though, so I should be fine. But if I find that runs into a problem with putting these deck lists on my videos, I'll just comment on my own video. Unlimited characters in the comments, so I'll just comment on my own video with the deck list, and you guys can copy it there if you're interested. And then you don't even have to. Like what I used to do is I used to take little snapshots of the screen of other people's decks, and then I would go and then I'd sit in front of Arena, and I'd hold my phone in front of me. Okay, this card here, click, 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 click. This card here, let's add those cards, right? And it's just, ugh, right? But if you guys ever want to do that to any of my decks, I'm going to start including these on my videos in the description or the comments. So pay attention for those if you're ever interested in trying some of these decks out. It's a really great, fast way for you to build them. As you've seen in this account here, it did change the picture on the box. It just calls it imported deck. If I were to import another one, I can probably do this again. It'll be the exact same deck from clipboard. Yeah, and it just imported deck 2, right? And they're the exact same deck. We know that already. Let me know what you think about all this. Give me your opinions. Did you already know what those buttons did? Am I a little slow to the game? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe, especially if you like this video. Hit that thumbs up too. All this stuff really helps. You may be surprised how something as simple as clicking that thumbs up or hitting that subscribe button, how much it really does help me out. So keep it up, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Cheers.